Recently, I've been focusing on sentence level improvements with my editing and coaching clients, so I thought I'd share a writing tip that will make major improvements to your prose with just one quick and simple change to your sentences. Consider the verb to be. It's an irregular verb. We know it as am, is, was, and were. Let's refer to it as was, since we write in the past tense most often. Was is short and sweet. It's essential, and we use it often, rightly so. Was is also an invisible word in our narratives. It disappears from the reader's mind, registered and forgotten, the way said does in dialogue tags, she said. I see writers overusing was to their story's detriment all the time. It's easy to do, because our first draft, the get it out of my head and on the page draft, likes to come forward in simple lines, which we then have to craft and refine. If you really want to improve your writing in one simple step, replace was with interesting, active, engaging, imagistic verbs whenever you can. Note, we will still use plenty of wases. The key is to use them when the rest of the sentence is advancing your story, painting a picture, or otherwise carrying the weight of the moment. Change was to a strong verb whenever the verb can and should do some of the lifting in that sentence. This will become clear with some examples. I've got a piece of my writing, a short paragraph describing a character, and I'm going to read my draft to you, but first I'll reverse engineer it into examples of some wasy early draft writing. All right, here goes. Evelyn loved nature. She was free and played outside all the time. Her face was narrow. Her freckles were... All right, you get the point. First drafts often read like a list of the writer's earliest stuttering impressions of the story forming in the mind. Second drafts take shape as the writer's style is added to the prose. Here's an example of what we might call that styled first draft. Evelyn was a child of nature as much as any parents. She was free, running, climbing, swimming. Her face was narrow, so the point of her chin was prominent. Her freckles were a swath of color that was swept across her nose and over both cheeks. She was most clearly reflected in the face of the little red fox. Like the fox, she was curious and bright-eyed, light of step, cautious and playful, only Evelyn wished she had whiskers. That's not bad prose, except for the verbs. It has voice, imagery, a simile, and it gets at Evelyn's character, her personality and worldview. Now, here's my actual draft. A child of nature, as much as any parents, Evelyn lived free, running, climbing, swimming. Her face shed its baby fat and narrowed, making the point of her chin more prominent, her freckles into a swath of color sweeping across her nose and over both cheeks. She found herself most clearly reflected in the face of the little red fox, curious and bright-eyed, light of step, cautious and playful. Only Evelyn wished she had whiskers. There's not a single was in that paragraph. But my goal is not to strip was from my prose or to write without using it. That would be impossible, and it would produce some ugly writing. My goal is to know when to use was and when not to always aim for strong, engaging, vivid word choices, and in so doing, to avoid using was when I have a better option. If you're ready to work with a developmental editor, writing coach, or have a project ready for a ghostwriter, I'd love to hear from you. Reach out to me at wordessential.com. This is a Storyworks writing tip, and I'm Alita Winternheimer, author, editor, teacher, and podcaster. Want more great writing tips on improving your prose? Check out the Storyworks Roundtable podcast or visit storyworkspodcast.com and put revision in the search field. If you enjoyed this writing tip, please give me a thumbs up, share it, and leave a review. And say hello. I love to hear from you.